Hey there, everybody! Welcome back. Guess where we are today? Yep, we are over on Crossing again. I nearly forgot what I was playing there for a second. How's it go there, Farmer Marks, Tony Truck, and Mr. Farming Trucker? Welcome in, guys. Let me just sort my phone out quickly because I am running a little bit behind. I had an issue with my computer. I had to restart it literally just before the stream. So I had to refresh everything and set it all up again, and it's like, oh, kind of crazy. There we go. So hopefully everything sounds and looks good for you guys. But yes, here we go. We are back, obviously, once again on PV Canyon Crossing by Mr. Dajnet. My wheels 145 minutes. Come on, behave. But yeah, we've got a few jobs to get on. Obviously, for this week, if anybody does have any questions about Canyon Crossing, if you have an issue with something, please ask them during these streams because it helps. And oh, there we go. Thank you there, Farming Trucker, for the shouts for Farmer Marks, Mr. Greentown Farmer, Mr. T Miller, and because I'm kind of nice, I will give you one a shout out as well. There we go. But if you're not following any of those guys, make sure to click on their links, give them a follow. Right then. So I just had a little look. Obviously, today is this thing not going to work? Having issues with getting things to work. It's not good. Come on. Now I know the trigger should be right there. Let me jump out and back in. There we go. For some weird reason, it kind of has a bug every now and again. But you are very welcome. But yeah, hopefully everyone had a great stream. Great weekend. Let me just mute that. There we go. Hey, Farmer Marks over on YouTube. How you doing, buddy? But yeah, hopefully you all had a good weekend. Hey, Dead Soul, how's it going, bud? So yeah, so this week, so I've got today, Wednesday, Friday. If anybody does have any questions, you're not quite sure about something on the map, you're more than welcome to message me and I'll try and answer them during the streams. But yeah, it's kind of warm actually today, so my head isn't quite with it at the minute. And there he is. How's it going, Mr. Shawnee? Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, Dead Soul. Not too bad, thanks. Yeah. Having computer issues like some other people I may, or persons I may mention, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but obviously the last couple of weeks, obviously where I've been going back to 19, my wheel didn't work. So I ended up doing just keyboard and mouse. Obviously I've come over to 22 now. And exactly the same thing, my wheel didn't want to work properly. It's kind of weird. I've literally just had to do a complete restart of my computer just to get the thing to connect back to the game, which is weird. But for some reason it's still not quite right. I might have to do a quick save and reload. Let's just do that quickly because it's going to bug the crap out of me. Then we can get into doing some actual work in here. But yeah, so while I'm doing this, so one of the things a lot of people have still been experiencing is loading issues on this map. Now obviously I'm not quite sure how it works with servers, but with single player anyway, what a lot of people found when this map came out, and obviously we had the premium release with all the new vegetables back in 22, was there was two options that you could do to fix that loading issue. Obviously, basically what it is, it'll load up to about 20%, then kind of bottleneck, and then stop loading the rest of the save game, so on and so forth. So what we found is two options. You can actually go into your advanced graphics settings and lower your texture rendering, which I'll show you in just a sec before I get in there. The other one is actually going into your game XML and look for D3D underscore 12. If you change that to D3D underscore 11, that also corrects the issue. So there's two options right there to get you at least started if you are having those issues. Now obviously one of the big things is, let me actually just sort this quickly, that one, switch. See, that's all on 1%, so that should be fine. Weird. let me close this down and then we'll do a little restart quickly. I'll be back for just one moment. But yes, who's not gone back to 22 yet or 19 out of interest while this is loading back up? Obviously, I know Green Thumb Farmer's been over there checking it out. I know Coffee Man's been out there. T Miller's been back there. I also know T Miller is actually currently AFK from his gaming at the minute, due to personal circumstances. But yeah, hopefully he'll be back with us soon. But yes. Oh, I was meant to show you. Oh, I can do it here. Hang on a sec. This is probably gonna break it, but it is what it is. So while this is loading up, hey there, Mr. The Vink, how you doing? And don't be here. Thank you very much for the 35 stream streak. Cool. I'm guessing Mr. T Miller's what 156? I guess now. So actually, one of the things I was going to mention is if you come into your options right here, go to your display settings and then advanced graphic settings down here. What you want to do is look for texture resolution right here. Make sure if you've got your set to high, maybe lower it down to medium. If it's on medium, maybe go to low. For some weird reason, when it hits that 20%, it loads in all of the textures into the game. And obviously, if you don't have, 32 gigs of RAM or higher, you kind of get that bottleneck happening. It doesn't happen to everybody, but a lot of people do find just lowering this down helps straight away. So that is one resolve. Now while this is loading up, I can come into here and I'll show this very, very quickly. So if we go to documents, there we go. Go to My Games, Farming Simulator 2022. Scroll down and find your game XML and open that up in Notepad or Notepad++. And right here, so come down past all this stuff here. You got the renderer right here. But yeah, this will have D3D_12 normally by default. But if you change it to D3D_11, like what I've got right here, that will also allow you to run the game on a higher setting. So it makes life a little bit easier. But yeah, just change it there, save it, and then load up, and you should be good to go. And obviously that's with both options. There we go. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's the alcohol thing. Okay. Yes, I remember. But yeah, there's a couple of warnings. Don't worry about them within the game. Obviously, Alcola has some due to some of the shapes being too big. There's a couple of other things as well, but don't worry about them. Obviously, if it's a warning or errors coming off of other mods, be very careful. Yes, you may want to get rid of them. Alright, let's get into the gameplay screen. There we go, it's fine, good. But yes, Mr. Don B here says, I am on 19 now. Oh, are you doing County, PV Uncharted, PV Industries, the Forex, Pleasant Valley map? I'm guessing a lot of people have been going over to County because obviously streaming the last few weeks. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are going back to that map. It is great. One thing I will say, it might be a little bit of a struggle if you're just getting into understanding the global company factory scripting in the way that they've done it compared to like how we got it in 22 and 25. It's a bit of a learning curve. I know Mr. Green Thumb, bless his cotton socks, he's been doing really well, but you can tell that he's struggling to understand some of it. But yeah, we'll see how long he lasts before he changes back to 25. But yeah. Oh, bless him. He's doing well. He is really doing well. But also, we're helping out when we can. And obviously, the nice thing is, he actually messaged me earlier today, saying that he's actually watching through my previous streams from the last couple of weeks and try to get the hints and tips on how to do certain stuff. So hopefully I covered most of it, if not all, or at least 90% I'd say has probably been covered throughout the last couple of weeks. And obviously we've got T Miller as well, helping out as well, so it's great. Yes, your own county, I had a feeling you would. But yes, I know Farming Trucker has been doing a lot of fishing and 7 Days to Die. Actually, to be honest, I've been doing quite a lot of 7 Days to Die the last couple of weeks. It's been quite nice, just finishing off the stream, jumping off, heading off, go kill some zombies, upgrade my horde base. Actually, oh, so regarding my horde base, so last week I think it was, for some weird reason, obviously I upgraded a couple of horde knights before, so it's been standing what about 10, 15, about 15 to 20 days ish. For some weird reason, I went off to this trader to sell some stuff after one of the horde knights, and came back and half of the building collapsed. It literally did collapse. I actually sent a message over to Mr. Farman Trucker about it, see if he's heard anything about that before. Obviously, that's kind of a new one on him, so yeah. But where the heck is it? Discord there. Gotta find something. I'm just gonna show you what my current horde base looks like. So I kind of combined a horde base and a base to run out of, basically. Um, right, I want that picture there. Can I open you up in another screen? Yes, I can. And that one. So this, oh, it's up to 100% cool. So this is actually coming back from the trader. Literally half of the building up here collapsed. So basically, the way I've got it set up is over this corner here. This is the horde night area. So the zombies sort of come up here and get chopped up and sliced and all that. They don't really touch this area at all, which is kind of weird. Obviously, I've got a garage here, I've got a crafting area, storage, and then it obviously goes up to the roof. I'm kind of wondering, is obviously just above here, where my storage is, I did put a few what you call them, farm plots down, just to grow some crops. I'm wondering if the weight possibly from that caused it to collapse. I have no idea, but I ended up redoing the whole upper area, and my horde base now looks like that. Okay, I apologise that it's late at night. I don't know why, but I got a thing for taking pictures at night in the 7 Days to Die. So yeah, obviously as you can see, I've still got a few things to add in. I've just got to add a few more of these blade traps in. But yeah, it is so much nicer. Actually, it's one layer lower, but I still have the garage there. I have my crafting area in here. I got a storage level, and then on top is where my dew collectors are. But then I've also got my horde base area, all in one area, and a little area at the back here for growing my crops. So far, no issues. I am working through upgrading from concrete to the steel, just in case, because last horde night, one or two zombies did get into my garage from the other side, so I'm upgrading it to the metal steel at the minute. So yeah, I've got my little gyrocopter there, and I'm kind of creating a take off and drop landing area here. But yeah, eventually I kind of want to maybe have a fence or something going around, or a wall, just to make life a little bit easier. Haven't quite figured that part out yet, so it's getting there slowly. But that is what I kind of like. It keeps it syncable. It's everything is in one area. The nice thing is I've also tunneled straight down and out from that base to find resource nodes, so it's not too bad. I'm currently working on making the tunnels a little bit bigger so I can get my bike down there rather than constantly running everywhere. But it is getting there, and it's doing quite well. I'm actually up to, I think it was level 90 last night I hit, so it's definitely coming on quite well, and I am liking it how the whole thing is progressing over there. But yes, well, it will be one thing that I'll probably never stream, unfortunately. I might have to do some videos actually, just to show the inside and how it's all laid out and such, so maybe one of these days, I don't know. But anyway, let's get back into the game and do some work. Right, let's see how this is. Hopefully my wheel is now working. How you doing there, Mr. MacGyver? How's it going, buddy? It's a little bit laggy to start off with, but it should be fine in just a moment. This is the only down problem with loading this map. There we go, that should be there. Yeah, it becomes a little bit laggy to start off with. itself, for those who remember, so this is obviously my starter area. So yes, all good there in the UK. It is very, very good. It's been a weird day actually. It started off sort of sunny, then it became a bit cloudy with a little drizzle. Then it's cleared off. It's become quite windy throughout the day, but the sun's back out, so we've had to shut the windows because it keeps slamming and nasty, nasty. But anyway, for those who haven't seen this map before, let's just run through this very, very quickly. So this is PV Canyon Crossing for FS22. Obviously, this is a 16x sized map by Mr. Dajnet. So it has all of his little perks that we all know and love. Obviously, it's got multiple fruits in here, in addition to the base game stuff. We have mining. We have placeable orchard areas that work in the same way as the grapes and olives. We'll get to that in a little while. We have obviously the bog area for growing your rice and your cranberries. There's a whole desert up in the upper right corner here that has 20 oil nodes that you got to uncover and find. I do have them all opened up, by the way. So if you're interested in finding them, all these little points are oil wells. So it starts from there. So all of these are the oil spots. So if anybody wants to take a quick picture, you're more than welcome to. Obviously up in this area I do have some gold masters that are up and running at the minute. But yeah, I was kind of happy because I literally was it the day or the day before we went over to 25, I found the last couple of nodes down here and got them up and running, so I'm very, very happy. Now just touching on the desert, so as you can see it's quite a large, well it's not actually that large, it's about the size of a base game map, let's put it that way, the desert here. But there's a lot of sand on here. As you can see just from this trailer, it holds 10 million litres, and yeah, I've had multiple trailers of that off of this area. Now what you have to do is basically go through, buy a plot of, first of all, so the first thing you need to do is, if you come into Farmland, it's broken down into 6 different areas. Purchase whichever area you want to start off with if you haven't already. Go over to that area, and what you need to is like a wheel loader with a bucket, a telehandler with a bucket, somewhere, oh excuse me, picking up the sand off the ground. Obviously I've used modified forage wagon or loading wagon, whatever you want to call these things, as you can tell. Excuse me. Also the pickup is a little bit wider. Might want to look on my Trello, I've got a few there that might help you out. Then what you need to do is get Black Diamond up and running first of all, and producing these drill shafts and pump jacks. Once you find your node, it'll basically be a big black spot in the desert. When you uncover one there, make sure it's fully uncovered. You want to put one pump jack box in that trigger, along with at least 2 of the drill shafts. The drill shafts are basically a booster to produce more product for you. Now, obviously I've got my time just frozen for the minute just to show this. Let me kick this back into gear. Now, what you might find is after a little while, the pump jacks, even though they're running, visually they'll stop moving. Don't worry, they are still working. So if I jump over to one of these, now what I did do is, on the in-game mod hub by Achi Mobile, he has these little displays. They are absolutely great. Plug one down next to one of your pump jacks and you should be good to go. You can actually then visually see the crude oil being created. Now one thing they do need is rain as well, because they will gather from the rain, I believe it is, if that's what I remember. But yeah, once they get going, they keep going and going. Now obviously the pallets will spawn out, so what you'll need to do is either load these onto a trailer, or if you have Hispano Modern's containers, they should, if there's ones that I've edited, I can give them out again, by the way. I don't mind. If you need them, let me know. But yeah, the Hispano Modern containers that I edited, I also made sure to add in the crude oil to make sure that they're all in there. It's kind of cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't even remember where the heck they are. It's been that long. It's terrible. But yeah, on my YouTube channel, if you want to try it yourself, there is a whole video on how to edit the Hispano Modern containers in 22 so they hold anything and are warning and error free. The same process can be done to the 82 Studios TLX attachables and stuff that does the auto loading is in a similar way or in the same way. So yes, a very little simple process, but gets warnings and errors completely out of there. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, these guys right here, these things right here, what you could technically do is drop maybe one of these next to one of them and just constantly have them filling up till they're full. I tend to come around every once in a while just picking up any barrels that have spawned out. But yeah, 20 of them. It's kind of crazy, it really is. But yeah, obviously one thing you want to probably try and keep on top of, and I've kind of lax a little bit, is keeping the drill shafts in there as well, so they keep producing. But obviously I've got plenty in there, and at the minute I'm not really been using them for the simple fact I'm in 25 really. You've had a lot of truck drivers to build their factories across the map. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so there's tons and tons of buildable factories once again in this map. So actually, if I jump down to the central area, so this is obviously the vehicle shop. It's probably going to look a little bit different to how it is when you first load up, because obviously I've done a little bit of landscaping, and obviously I've got everything built and up and running. But what I can do is, if you haven't seen any of this sort of stuff, I can come up and show you. So yeah, all of these factories right here that you're seeing, apart from the refinery and barrel logistics, everything else here is pretty much buildable. So you got your brewery, you have Crystal Steel, you got Alcoa, in the distance there you got the concrete factory, they're all buildables. Coming over here, you got actually thinking about it, did we make the recycle center buildable? Don't think so. Now, just speaking about the refinery, do not delete it because you will not be able to get it back. The products that are coming out of that are things like your boosters and stuff like that that are needed for other factories. Okay, they're not necessarily needed, but they help produce stuff faster. If you delete it, you will not be able to place it down again due to the fact that if you've ever been into the recycling center, PSM, or PM I should say, obviously it's got that lower area underneath it where you unload your trash and such. Obviously because of that, it had to be made a built-in non-replaceable building. So yeah, if you sell it and delete that building, then you're totally screwed. The only way to get it back is to load up another save game and then copy the information from one into the other in the placeable XML. It's kind of tricky, but it is doable to get it back, so bear that in mind. But yes, so a little something about this map in addition to obviously the factories and such. So one of the big there's a couple of questions, one to do with fishing, which we'll get to in a little while. One is to do with things like the mining and the seasonal stuff on this map. So, I had a lot of trucks over there. I did Frito-Lay, yes. Frito-Lay, that is up in the east over there somewhere. Now, when it comes to... We'll start off with the seasonal items on here. So, around this map, there is approximately 26 seasonal triggers which will spawn out chocolate bunnies in spring, surfboards in summer, coffins in autumn or fall, and presence in winter. Now, to be able to actually do that, first of all, you need to come into your construction menu. It's a little bit slow for me because I've got so much going on. It's terrible. Come on, come on, come on. And obviously under the PV mods tab, there is the event center. Come on. Hello. Silly thing. There we go. So I can never remember. I can't remember exactly where it is. So give me just a sec to find it. I'm pretty sure it's probably others. Nope. Oh yes, there it is. So right here under others, you have the event center. All you need to do is place one of them down on any land that you own, and then leave it alone. What this will do, it will collect from the weather, and particularly the rain. Now, depending on how much rain you have in each season or each month, will determine how many products you get out of those seasonal triggers that are around the map. So bear that in mind. So if you've had a dry year, you may end up with having little to nothing being spawned out. Now, with that being said, around the map, like I said, there's about 26 spawners that will spawn those products. To give you an idea, so I'm kind of going to roughly guess where everything is that I remember from when I was playing. So, starting down in the bottom here, you've got the little pond. There is a trigger right there. Over here, this mine here by the copper mine, on this ledge, about 99% sure there was one there as well. I might be wrong, but that's a pretty good guess. Up in the mine by the multi-mine, there is another trigger up here that spawns more. Coming over here into the center, obviously you've got this wooden bridge that goes across here. Actually right there, to be honest, by the refinery. Underneath that is another trigger. By the animal dealer over here is another one that I believe somebody did mention to me and showed me some pictures. I haven't had anything from there personally because I've only recently bought it, but that could be a maybe. I'll put a maybe on that one. The central farm over here by the main starter house, I suppose best way to put it, there is another trigger spawner there. We're going to jump over to the sawmill quickly. By the sawmill here, obviously you've got your unload area, the little pond. Next to that is another one. Coming up the map, in the center, roughly the middle of the desert here, give or take, there is another spawn trigger there that I definitely know is there because I've collected from there. Coming across, I don't remember ever having anything up in this area, but saying that, until recently I've never actually owned every plot up there, so there may be ones up in the central area here, possibly. But coming across, there's definitely one at the upper left corner of 32. There's one on this farm right here. Obviously this is my New Holland farm, so I might reference it, New Holland farm, right here. There is another. I'm pretty sure there's another one within this forestry area somewhere. I remember roughly dashing out, showing one off over here. So there's possibly another one up here. Coming back down by Truffletopia, the actual little buildings, there's one trigger right there, literally by, I think it's right by the sign if I can remember correctly. So coming further down, the BGA, just down from Truffletopia, there is another one. Coming down into the boggy area along this edge here, by in plot 97 basically, along this little ridge here, there is another spawn area. Coming down again, obviously along this road here by Heartland Bread, there is another one that spawns those seasonal items. I'm about 99% sure that there's one on this farm, but I haven't as yet had anything come out of it. And same with this little farm right here. Now, there is another one which I do believe is... I'm trying to think which way this is. Yeah, it'd be right down here at the bottom of 19. This bottom right corner of 19. There's another one right there. And I think that's all of the ones that I currently know of. There may be more, but yeah, if you own any of those areas, it may help you out. You already missed county, I bet. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, the last couple of weeks I have been doing county. Obviously, those streams are up on my YouTube. Obviously, I do know that Coffeeman 101, probably Green Thumb Farmer, maybe T Miller will be doing further streams for queuing and Aing on those maps. I also believe T Miller once he is back up and on his feet and stuff, could also be going over to Uncharted for FS19 as well to show that off. I was planning on doing it myself, but in all honesty, I really didn't like the map. I liked certain aspects. I didn't like the rocky fields. That was great, but having to really create a area of my own from nothing, I just haven't got the right envision for that yet. I'm gonna need to come up with something if I want to make my own freaking map. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so that is basically your seasonal things. Obviously, if you do find you run through... Oh yeah, that's one thing as well. What will happen with the seasonal or the event center is it will collect rain from 2 to 3 months or seasons prior to when it's needed. So, for example, the surfboards in summer will collect water and other resources in... I think it'd be either winter or the autumn prior. So yeah, it's not going to happen straight away, so you may want to leave it at least an in-game year and then start looking around the plots that you own to find whether or not you own a plot that has one of those triggers. But I can definitely guarantee if you started on the central farm, you will have one right there. Is that the one that Dave never got around to doing the fairground? Yes, this one is. Canyon Crossing was the one we were planning on doing the fairgrounds over here, but we never actually got around to being able to get it in game and working correctly because yeah, I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. In addition, there was a whole hoo-ha about getting a border area over here on the maps sorted out, and it was never really finished. From what I remember, it was going to basically be a big city coming off this side that you could potentially have sent a boat off to sell at, but yeah. But apart from that, yeah, fun. Now, with that being said, in a similar way, the mining. So, on plot 231, in the mine, might as well cover this right now. So, this ridge right here, if I go into this, so 231, so this area that's just highlighted has 6 mine spawners in it, and they will spawn rocks and different types of gemstones in there. Now, for that to work, first of all, you need to own that plot of land, and secondly, you need to place down in here the mining shed. So what this will do, in the same way the event center works, this will gather water and other resources throughout the year and then send those resources to the triggers, the 6 triggers on plot 231. Now this could take up to an in-game year to happen, So you may want to plonk it down on a plot of land and just forget about it. The same with the event center. But once you've got it going, what you should be able to see, if I come up here, is these little mounds, and you'll get these rocks come out. These big rocks can go to the built-in stone crusher, which is over by the sawmill in this corner right here, which we'll get to in just a minute. Obviously, that stone crusher is the same one that we're using in 25 on PV Rivers Remastered. Obviously, that was actually originally off of the original PV Rivers map in FS15, which is kind of cool. Come on, come on, come on. Obviously, if you want to move these, obviously you can use auto trailers, but on my Trello, there is a auto load half pipe, this thing right here, set up with auto load to pick them up, as well as that trailer right there has auto load in it as well. Obviously, hence why I did the two of them for 25. Yeah, go figure. Both of them are available on my Trello, but you will need the universal autoload script either off of the in-game mod hub or GitHub by Loki. Yeah, one thing you do need to do is allow it to rain first, and actually, technically you need to allow it to rain over several in-game months, because this is another one that will collect it from 2 to 3 seasons prior before it gets sent over here. So that's another thing to remember as well. But yeah, also you'll get your rocks come out, like I said, which we can go over to your stone crusher. That one that's built in is the only one that will accept these, so bear that in mind. In addition, you can also see these gemstones. Now you get emeralds, you get diamonds. They're the more rarer ones, so yes. No, fun remarks. Because I don't know anything about FS15, and I don't even know how to do any of the modding for it, so I'm not even going to touch it. Sorry. So yeah, but yeah, you got one. But yeah, if you just come along this ridge, on the left-hand side, you will see 6. So obviously that's one. There's another one coming up here, which is the second one. And obviously on this, normally when you spawn in, obviously this whole area will be covered in, is it stone or gravel? Which you can actually go through and pick up. If you're on this area, you can actually pick it up and use it in your crushers or wherever it's needed, sort of thing. So if it's stone, it can go into the stone crushers. If it's gravel, it can go into like the concrete factory, so on and so forth. So there is number 3. Number 4 over here, you got 5 there, and then around the corner is number 6. So each one should spawn out the same amount of products as each other. So if you got 6 rocks on one, you should have 6 rocks on the others. That one kind of seems to be a little bit off compared to the rest, but it is what it is. But that is literally all you have to do, is just place that mining shed anywhere on land that you own. It doesn't have to be this particular plot of land, it could be any, and just leave it. Like I said, it will gather from the rain and other resources from off of the map automatically and send the products to those spawners. And then once it's ready to rock and roll, it will dump it regularly out. And obviously the further along in the game you get, you'll start seeing things like those emeralds spawning out and the diamonds spawning out. I know I think I'm year 9 now on here, and I've had diamonds at least twice in that whole 9 years worth of gameplay. So it's a very, very rare thing to find. So that's that. The only other thing is obviously fishing. That does seem to be popping up quite a bit question-wise for me. So with regards to, the other thing is bridges. So I'll do the bridges first. So on the map, depending on which start you get, there is 6 bridges that are potentially buildable. There is one option where you can have all the bridges built. But for those options where you have the buildables, they will be located along these riverways. So to give you an idea, so there's one right here, there's one right here, There is one going from the bottom of 41 across here to the museum. There's none up here. But if we come down, we have one here. Oh no, actually, I should say one there, one here, and then a final one is over here. Now, with them, you're going to need to own the plot of land that the unload trigger is on. So, for example, we'll come over to here, depending on which bridge it is as well. If you have the normal wooden bridges, you will need to own the plots of land the trigger is on. But if you've got the bascule bridge start, you'll need to own the waterway. So if I come into here, for example, so if I had, obviously I've got the bascules because I've replaced my ones. So originally I had the wooden bridges here, so it would have spanned across here, it would have spanned across here. Now obviously I would have had to own this land here and this land there. Obviously I own them anyway. But obviously when I switched over to the bascule bridges, which is a simple little edit, if you go over to Viking Streaming's Trello, I believe he's got some videos on his YouTube channel linked there that show you how to change them in the XML. But yeah, when you get the bascules, you'll need to own the waterway. So with the bascule start, this bridge, and this one here on plot 20, these have all been changed from the wooden bridges to the bascule bridges in that start, and obviously those three can be replaced with a simple little edit just by watching that video. Now, in addition, if you want a little bit of extra work, you can put a bascule here, but it's a bit tricky, so I'd maybe refrain from possibly doing that one. I've done it myself. It took a lot of landscaping to get it correct both sides, so yes, up to you guys. But like I said, obviously you need to own the area on where the unload trigger is. Now, one thing to remember, and this counts for the bridges and any of the buildable factories on this map. When you're adding the products in, do not do them in dribs and drabs of all of them. Basically load in 100, all bar one product to 100%, and then load in that last product all in one hit. So have a look at the menu, so the display. Let me come into here, I'll show you what I mean. So if we come into PB, we'll go to tiers 2 or 3, probably the 3s, looking at this. So if we come to the Pepsi factory, for example, obviously this is built into the map, so let me see if I can get a better angle, just so I can show you the display. So all these buildable factories have a little display to show what is needed to build that particular factory. So if you look at the display there, choose one product to hold off adding in before you added it. So for example, I would probably choose the shelving to leave to the side for the minute, because that's one of the lower products. Get all those other ones in at 100%. So floor tiles, make sure you got 10,000 litres in there. Metal, 10,000 litres. Concrete, 20,000 litres. So on and so forth. Once you've got all of those loaded into 100% full, then add that last product all in one hit. So obviously it's going to be 5,000 litres of shelving all in at one time. Obviously with most of that you could probably do it in 2, maybe 3 loads anyway, if you've got all the products ready to rock and roll. But what will basically happen is kind of the trigger will actually raise up as it is right now as it starts building. Unfortunately, once it starts raising up, there's no way to stop it and get more products into it if you put them in dribs and drabs. So bear that in mind. Now, obviously, once that is started building, like I said, the trigger will raise up. Now, if you say had a bit of an issue, maybe ran the game a little bit too quick, the calculations have gone a bit skew with, and you've got a little bit left over that you still need to add it in, what you could potentially do is using the flight mode, go up above the trigger and drop a pallet in from above it. There's no way of bringing it back down, unfortunately, so it's one of those things. The only other way is to edit an XML, and that gets a little bit tricky if you do it wrong. But yeah, if you can actually get above that trigger, either use like a telehandlers, flight mode, or whatever, just drop what you need to get in if you have to. But overall, one thing to bear in mind as well, with Giants maths, the whole building thing has been set up so there is a slight margin. So if it's a litre here or a litre there, don't really worry about it because you should be able to find. It should still finish building. But yeah, if you got a whole pallet, then that's where the issues come in. Yeah, so bear that in mind. So yeah. But yes, it's fun. Does anyone got a universal upload mod that works? As far as I'm aware, mine does. What issues are you having there, Chief Squat to be? And I've got the one that's off of the in-game mod hub. And hey, Johnny V, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, long time. Not doing too bad. We're kind of doing a revisit through Canyon Crossing this week. Actually, what? Let's think. I do need to allow that to produce more fertilizer, so I might as well, while I'm here, do a quick pick up and drop off. So let's have a look and actually test this. So obviously this is an offload trailer as well. So let's see if we can get this backed up, or should be. Now let's turn this off because it's got flight mode still on, and we'll actually get some work done. Super strength, we're going to turn that on. We're just going to bring these rocks out and see. So we'll pop one. Actually, I should be able to activate that. Yep. So yeah, mine still works. So it just picked up those rocks and not an issue. Okay, never found it when I downloaded it. Well, it's a script, so it's not going to be. Oh, I wonder. Hang on a sec. Obviously, like I was saying, on my Trello, there is the half pipe and that big crampy trailer. Okay, so it doesn't actually. I was just thinking, did they add the box in 25, 22, should say? No. But yeah, it'll automatically be added to any vehicles that are assigned for like auto loading or set up for auto loading. Now, depending which trailer you're using as well, you may need to get the Universal Autoload Mod Hub add-on mod. But yeah, obviously these two trailers, this one and the half pipe behind me there, both use just Loki's autoload script itself. You don't need the add-on or anything. Yeah, that's working fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's good. But yeah, obviously, I'm pretty sure it's on the in-game. That's where I got mine off the in-game mod hub. But it is also on GitHub. Just look for FS22 Universal Autoload. I wonder if I still got the link for it. 25 Fish and Planet stuff. No, I don't. But I could do a quick search for you, just a sec. FS22. Actually, I can even show you what FS22 GitHub UAL. Oh, these things. So there is that one right there. So you can probably grab it straight from there if you wanted to. Obviously, make sure you click on the latest. Obviously, this hasn't been updated since the 31st of October 2024. So make sure you click on the recent one. So it'll be version 1.6.0.5. From there, just click on FS22 Universal Autoload Zip. What that'll do is it'll download it to your download folder, where you can then move it to your mod folder itself. But if we do FS22 UAL mod, and we'll go right there. Also, we got, yeah, this is 1.6.0.0 on the in-game mod hub for FS22 by Loki. But there, it's right there as well. But yeah, grab the one from GitHub. It's so much easier, and like I said, as you've seen, it's actually more updated than that version. See, it's like it's had 5 additional updates from there, so yeah, it should work. What you may need to do is delete the one that you got in your folder and replace it with a new one. Sometimes that will happen. Obviously, one of the things is make sure that it's activated when you load up your save game. Yes. Oh, what's going on there? Also, you have a game XML render on some factories can't do load the game crash. Yep, I already covered that. Yeah, so that's what a little thing which the Vink mentioned. Obviously, if you have issues loading up the game, that is like I was saying earlier. That is due to a. Oh, let me unban you. Actually, I just realised it was banned, not timed out. Why is it doing that? Unban. Sorry there, Mr. Vink. Yeah. What it is when it gets to about 20%, depending on your system, it will bottleneck the textures when it's loading in. If you find that it just seems to stop loading at 20%, close the game down, go to either your game XML and change the D3D underscore 12 to D3D underscore 11. But you can also go in, like I was saying, go into your advanced graphics settings within the game itself and lower your texture resolution there. Both work and should be working a-okay for you guys. Right, I just want to make sure I don't grab any of those gems, but yeah, that's working fine there. But yeah, you should be good to chat again. Streamlabs is being a little bit of a butthead. But yeah, covered that earlier. That was one of the first things we went through. But yeah, we're going to grab these stones. Now, one of the nice things as well is with the UAL, you can limit what gets loaded. And Mr. The Vig, thank you very much for the 20 bitties. Much appreciated, bud. Enjoy the little bit of fishing there. And actually, while I think about it, I'll give you a shout out. If you guys are not following Mr. The Vink, make sure to click on that link, give him a follow. So what you can do as well, you could actually select filter out the different types of palettes with the O key. So actually, let me just unload these a sec to make this a little bit easier. Oh, dang you. Dang it. Yeah, so you can actually select it just to pick up the rocks on their own. And it's misbehaving for me today. It might be because I've got some loaded in already. But yeah, keep an eye out over here. And if you want to change it to just to pick up the rocks, you can do. Or if you wanted to just pick up specific gems, you can do. Just have a look in the F1 menu. I'm pretty sure it's the O key that does it. And you should be good to go. See the O? So O or T maybe? No, it's not T. I can't remember exactly which key it was, but yeah, there was something in there that allowed you just to load specific things. Makes life a little bit easier as well. Come on, stop freaking rolling. There we go. For some weird reason it kept rolling there, but if you guys are not following Mr. The Vig, make sure to click on that link, give him a follow, guys. Yes, there we go, there we go, there we go, go, go! But yeah, as I can see, mine is definitely working fine. Obviously, the nice thing is in 25 with the UAL, is they have the option to adjust that loading area within the trailer, which is really kind of cool. I like that feature. Be nice if they were to update some of the previous mods in a similar way if it was possible, but yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we should have one more right here. But yeah, all those gems, for example, they can actually go into the bank just to be sold. There's nothing special to be done with them. Right, don't pick up those gems. There we go, cool. So there we go. So with that, we're going to take these guys to the crusher. Oh, I've still got some stuff up here. Now, another thing as well, these rocks can be demolished as well. So bear that one in mind. So in the same way as all the mine entrances where you need the jackhammer, you could do these rocks with that jackhammer as well and clear some of those areas. Ew, I never even noticed that. So I was just looking down at that mine there. Now that's another thing as well. Some of the mine roofs can be sold. Just go into the placeable area or placeable option and go to demolish, and you can actually remove some of those mine tops basically. I've done all of them I think here, and the nice thing is obviously down here, this area here I think it was salt and some gravel mines. Obviously where I've been able to get rid of them, I was obviously able to get rid of the roof as well, and I've repurposed it for other things. Actually that was where my gold masters were, but nah, yeah, they're gone. They are elsewhere now. So we're going to take this lot over to heck. Yeah, go a little bit too fast down here. You might want to be very careful. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's stone in the mine here, so you can actually pick that up in any way you want. Same like the sand, and take it to the crusher, for example, with the stone. But yes, it's kind of weird being back on here. It really, really is. I should. I might have to look. Oh, I just realised something. Why is that floor still walking? Interesting. Interesting. Why is that still going? I have no idea. Oh, someone has got a diamond. Oh, nice. Mr. The Vink got a diamond. But yeah, obviously in addition to the ones that are pre-placed factory-wise, there is multiple additional factories that can be placed down as well. Some are buildable, some are not. So yeah, definitely well worth checking this map out if you haven't already. But yeah, obviously on my Trello and other SGA members, there is quite a few mods set up for 22 to help you guys out. Definitely check out like people like Mr. Green Thumb Farmer. He has a lot of sheds and stuff over there. T Miller's got a few productions over there. Oh heck. Obviously, speaking of T Miller's productions, there's two right there. We have the Silk factory and the Filipino factory. So soya milk basically factory. Yes. Actually, I didn't really do it. I don't think I did any productions in 22. Thinking about it, I feel such a noob. Yeah, because obviously you go up to like T Miller's and he's got productions here, there and everywhere. You go to other people's, they've got productions. Mine, I don't think I've got a single production at all on my Trello. I've got some silos over there. I've got some vehicles and implements and stuff that I've edited. But production-wise, no. Not really. That's kind of weird and crazy. And did I put some indicators on or something? I can hear clicking. Oh, it's probably that floor. Everyone shut off. Stop moving. Yes, that's another thing as well I've noticed is some of my key bindings are not working correctly. Because normally, if I remember rightly, it's the Z key that's usually to turn the floor on and off for this thing. But for some weird reason, it just refuses to turn off. It's weird. But yes, at least the autoload works though. And the nice thing is I can bring it back to the front just by stopping like that. Right then. Yeah, so in a minute, once we get this over to the crusher and unload it, we'll jump into do some fishing. So on this map we have obviously fishing and lobster cages that can be done to make a little bit extra money and such. So along the waterway, so one thing you're going to need is to own a waterway for the fishing side of things. Obviously the central rivers is broken into 3 separate viable areas, or 4, maybe 4 actually. Each area has a different amount of fish node triggers, traps, whatever you want to call them, in it. I can't remember exactly how many. It's not that many in all honesty, but what we'll do is we'll take a little drive down the river and you can actually see them. Oh, we do have. Oh, okay, I've got some coffins being processed. Oh yes, I don't know if I ever actually showed you guys this. So I think it was maybe in the last stream I finally got the graveyard placed out. So obviously I've got the coffins going in and out of there, being filled up with cadavers. Obviously for quite some time I was going through saying, oh, I need to get the graveyard placed down over here properly. So I created this nice little roadway right here. Nothing spectacular, it just curves right round. Obviously on the right hand side here we have the graveyard where the coffins then go to. But I also added in the haunted house and a few decorations. So yeah, I like it. So that kind of just finished it off for 22 really. That was kind of the outstanding thing. And the nice thing is some of those big haunted trees there are back as well. Might have to get that sorted out for 25 at some point. But yes, but anyway, coming across, so we're kind of heading towards the sawmill to give you an idea of where we're going. It still doesn't want to turn off. So obviously here, I've obviously got it breaking off to the left, off to the right, and then kind of straight across-ish towards the sawmill. I know a lot of people in this area have put down a bridge to get across a little bit easier than having to go all the way around and back. It is a good picking idea, I'll say that. Makes life that little bit faster, that's for sure. But yes, car. Oh, look at all the trees in green. I'm loving it. We've got the spruces and all that. I miss this game, or this map I should say. I do. Obviously I own 90% of the map now. Actually I bought some earlier today when I was loaded up. Mainly the forestry areas is the ones I went with as well. So obviously I've got like 300, I had over 400 million. I've spent nearly 100 million just buying up grassy areas, forestry areas on the map. I've kind of left a fair few fields though. So if I ever get a little bit bored and want a bit of a break, want to do maybe some contracts, I can still do that if I want to. Now here we go. So we're coming over here to the crusher right here. So the way I've got it laid out is a little bit different to how you guys usually have it, but it's there. We're right next to obviously the coal factory right there. Tony Myth, how are you doing, bud? Welcome in, Raiders. Raiding with a party of 64. Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Faber Farming, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in as well. And let's give Mr. Tony Myth a shout out. If you're not following Mr. Tony Myth, make sure to click on the link, give him a follow. He is playing FS25 currently. How goes it, Blaze Joke? Blazer Joke. Right then, let's get this opened up. Oh, actually, well, stop. I need to get it backed in. So with this, so for those just joining, we're actually playing FS22 today. PV Canyon Crossing by Mr. Dajnet, because it's primarily the maps I play is by Dajnet. So had a lot of questions about this map, so we're kind of coming back to it to show a few things off. So this week I'm going to be doing 22. Oops. Obviously last week and the week before I was back in FS19 PV County doing a few things over there. And then hopefully next week I'll be back on PV Rivers. So yay! But yeah, so once you got your rocks from plot 231, you can then load them into the crusher right here, exactly the same as how I'm doing it. You can do it by hand. Obviously I've just got the trailer unloading automatically, so I can actually just leave that and it'll just keep unloading. Ooh, has that actually turned itself off? It did! Typical. Blinking typical. Oh well. But yeah, that actually, to be honest, I don't really want any more in there because it is quite full. So yeah, but obviously the thing is with this trigger here, you have another one at the front that will unload stone as well from fields or from the mine, so you can make your limestone, calcium carbonate, and gypsum from here. But yes, so for those never seen this map before, so this map is PC only. It's heavily modded. Heck, where do you want to start? So we've got additional crops to the base game stuff that was in 22. Hey Mamadou, how you doing? We have fishing on here. We have additional animals. Obviously, all of the productions are set up using the production revamp mod. Most of the factories that are on this map are buildable ones. There's 6 buildable bridges on the map, plus additional ones that you can place down that were created by Mr. Green Thumb Farmer, the legend there, who's in chat. We have fishing. We have this, that, and the other. So there's a whole lot of things. One of the big highlights with this one is, obviously, for those who hate olives and grapes, in a similar way that they're set up in the base game for 22, what Dashnet was able to do is create orchard areas that work the same way, where you can place them down in basic strings and then harvest them. So if I actually come over here, this is the other thing that I wanted to kind of show off a little bit. So if I jump over here, because this is my little orchard area. Obviously on here we have, what's it, 15 different tree types, a lot, but all of these are placed down in the same way the olives and the orchards are, but these are also harvestable with modified trailers. It's kind of cool. So I can actually show you this a little bit here. So if we come into the construction stuff under, now is it under the PV stuff? Nope. It's been a while, so give me a sec, guys. Productions and orchards. Yeah, there we go. So under the productions, under orchards, you got all of these different tree types right here. There's apples, there's pears, there's Maples, there's cherries, you name it, bananas, coconuts, pecans. And obviously if I just grab this one now, I don't think I'll be able to do it now because I'm probably out of season, but you can literally draw them out and place them down. Now once you've got that first one placed down, and as long as it's perfectly straight, you can then lock on to that line in the same way, and then just keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now one thing with this version, I would always recommend, once you've got that first one down and it's straight, so I've literally started from here and gone up there, come back to the beginning, come across a little bit till it shows green, and then start on the next row, and then do that, keep coming back to the beginning and keep them all in line. It makes life so much easier. For the simple fact is, around these trees there's actual triggers to pick up products from them, because it's kind of cool how Dashnet did these time around. But yeah, you got pecans, like I was saying, coca, there's a whole variety of them. In addition, with this particular map we also have coffee on here. Here we go, let's get in a little bit closer. So we got the coffee plants right there, we have hops right there. So yeah, this map definitely goes above and beyond a normal modded map in my opinion. So yeah, that was probably the highlight. Now one of the big things that I did is, and I had it in my mind for quite some time, I wanted to do an agroforestry area. And some of you may have noticed there's an area on this map that's kind of stripes in the lower area of the map. Yeah, so all of this up here and all that right there is my orchards. I have the grapes, olives, hops and coffee down here. I have got another little plot of land right there that I could extend them if I need be, but as yet I haven't needed to. But all of them are harvestable as well. In addition, there's greenhouses up there with additional products. But yeah, this area right here. So if anybody's heard of agroforestry, this is literally it in a nutshell. So what agroforestry is basically rows of crop separated by rows of usually trees of some kind. Could be fruit trees, it could just be normal everyday wood trees, for example, could be bushes, whatever. But this is usually how an agroforestry area is set up, and I've had this in my mind for quite some time to replicate off of another map onto this one, and it took me a while to do it, but I was able to actually get Field 9, which is a little bit bigger than a standard size map, and I turned the whole field into an agroforestry area. So if I actually jump down here, I'll actually show you what I've done. So each of these rows, actually let me go into flight mode because it's probably going to be easier to show it this way. Here we go. So each area, there's 24 rows in total for crops to grow. They're around about 3 to 4 combine header widths, and then in between it basically has maple trees which can be harvested, but it also alternates with spruce trees, and obviously these guys are still growing, but it's getting there. But yeah, this was something that was originally off of Mercury Farms map by Alien Jim, if anybody knows that map. That kind of gave me the idea. I replicated it on No Man's Land back in FS19. I kind of wanted to do it, but I never really had an area big enough or flat enough really to be able to do it. And obviously when Canyon Crossing came out and we've seen Field 9, seen the size of it, I thought, yep, it's got to be a must. At some point before I go to 25, I want to turn that field into an agroforestry area. So basically what happens in real life, when a farmer sets this area up, it brings in the wildlife. It'll bring in bees, it'll bring in other insects, bring in the birds to help pollinate the crops. And this is kind of my salute to those who do that. I know there's a few places around that already have this kind of farming set up, so you kind of get. It's kind of cool actually. I like it how it's set up, but yeah, I've done a full in-game year with this, and it's definitely a labour of love to keep it running. But yeah, each plot of land has a different crop in it. Obviously, some of these haven't even been planted yet, or some have only just been planted. So yeah, that's why they look a little bit strange. But yeah, it was a lot of work to get it right. Now, the worst thing is once I finish this, get this. For those who've played 22, that obviously there was a mod that came out late on that allows you to keep the straight lines. It was literally when that mod came out, I finished this field. I was so annoyed because obviously I went through and ploughed it, but then I had to go through the paint tool and do each of those lines with the paint tool all by hand, and it was such a nightmare. I felt like contacting the modder and saying, why the heck couldn't you have brought that out like 6 months ago? But yeah, it was a labour of love definitely getting this sorted out, and I'm happy at how it's going. I really am. Obviously, give it another, I don't know, 6 months, maybe the end of this in-game year. Hopefully maybe some of these spruces will be grown up a bit further to make it a little bit more defined. But the nice thing is, obviously, in, was it January of each year, I can come through and harvest these maple trees if I want to. Who knows if I'm going to do this in 25 on a smaller scale. You never know. I might find a map with a field area that's possible. But yeah, maybe this idea could be added in as a smaller option. Maybe half a dozen rows with some trees. It's something that could potentially be brought in later on, I don't know. But yes, that is bonkers. Really, really was bonkers to get that up and running. But yeah, so I think all the questions currently that have been asked on Facebook has now been covered in this first, hour or so of the stream. So I think from now, what I can then do is actually get in and start doing some work. So obviously the map is precision farming ready. So obviously if I come into here, for example, I can see that there is several fields that need to be addressed, primarily for nitrogen. So I do need to get in and fertilize. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. That one right there needs some lime. So obviously I start off, and I've kind of stuck with this area. So I've got my main farm area here. I also have my animals over in this area as well. And Mama Do, thank you very much for those 100 biddies. Much appreciated. But yeah, coffee, you name it. Actually, one of the things I haven't really shown is, oh, I'm on the wrong screen, is obviously this map has additional crops to the norm. So there is obviously all your normal crops from the base game up to the oilseed radish. So additional crops on here. Now some of them also get added in with the premium DLC that was released for 22. So carrots, red beets and parsnips are additional ones that are injected into this map, but carrots can be worked on this map with or without the DLC, which is kind of cool because it was originally in here before it even came out. But additional crops are flax, rice, carrots, hemp, cranberries, mustard, lavender, peanuts, poppy, peas, alfalfa, hops, which are obviously placeable, coffee, which are placeable like the vineyards, onions, tobacco, clover. So they're all your additional ones that you can put into the field. Obviously the tobacco and the hops are both set up in the same way the rest of these are, on like the vineyard type style. But those orchard tree wise, we have maple trees, apples, cherries, pears, oranges, plums, apricots, peaches, bananas, coconut, coca and pecan. Now, like I said, red beets and parsnips along with the carrots can be injected in with the premium DLC. Now, while I think about it, with the orchards, when it comes... Oh, I did the wrong door. I wanted that one there. When you come around to harvesting, so you can go through, you can plough them, you can fertilizer, you can lime, all that funky stuff. Oops, I want this one, because I want to turn this off. Now, obviously, in the store here, under tools, you will have this category right here, orchard equipment. Now in here, obviously Dagenet's added some additional bits for your vineyard. Obviously coffee, olives, your grapes in addition to that. But yeah, you have this trailer here which is for picking, for harvesting your maple sap. And then you have all of these trailers right here, which is basically a harvester. Each single one is a harvester. Now, obviously, if you bring them into store, obviously the first thing is each trailer has its own icon to state what crop or what orchard that will harvest. Obviously, you do have configurations on these trailers, so you've got an extension that ups that capacity a little bit, but there's whole color options. Now, one thing I will say, and this is something I found out close to the end of 22. On the in-game mod hub, there is a mod called the Schnufflestruck. It's basically a powered dolly. What you can actually do, if you connect one of them to the back of this trailer, you can then have a second one of these trailers trailing behind it. And you can actually run both independently as individual harvesters. Kind of cool. I found that one out close to the end of 22. I never even thought about it till later on. Now, when it comes to harvesting these orchard trees, first obviously you have to be in the right month. Obviously this is not going to work for me because I'm not in the right month, but what you want to do, because obviously these trailers are harvesters, same with the Joskin Trans trailer tank thing, you need to turn this on. So if you open this up and hit the B key, you can actually see that this is now highlighted is turned on. So if we actually close that, drive forward, now obviously it's not going to pick anything up. What you want to do is drive up the rows with the trees on the right hand side. And what I would have always done is at the bottom of these trees you've got this little placement area, this dirt area. If you drive up the side of that, you should not have an issue missing a tree unless you're going too fast. Now, from my own testing, between 15 to 20 kilometers an hour is the maximum you should be going when harvesting these trees. So if you just stay to the left of those trees, you shouldn't miss a single tree, and as long as it's turned on, you'll keep harvesting them, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so once again, make sure that you've got the right trailer harvester, make sure it's turned on, and make sure that the tree is on your right hand side when you're harvesting them. Because obviously if you go onto the other side and you have the tree on the left, it will not work. Basically, if I bring up this, I don't know if it will actually show. No, it doesn't. But yeah, on the right hand side here is basically a little harvester tree shaker thing that harvests those trees in the same way the olive shaker does that's on the in-game mod hub. It's kind of the same sort of thing. But yeah, that is literally all you have to do. Just place them down. Once they're down, run through with a vineyard plough, cultivator, whatever you want to call it. Make sure they're fertilized, make sure they're limed, and then when it's time to, you can then come in and harvest them. Isn't that cool? That is very, very cool. I like it. That's one thing, who knows, it may come back to 25, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. I haven't even attempted any of that, but I'm kind of hoping Mr. Dave will do that and bring it back. But yeah, So obviously this trailer, the Joskin trailer out there, which is obviously for your trade tree sap. Same thing again. Attach it to your tractor. Make sure your tree is on the right hand side here when harvesting. So that's literally how easy it is. Also on my Trello there is a few things to help you doing like the ploughing and cultivating and fertilizing stuff as well. So yeah, it might help you guys out. Check my Trello out. Actually, one thing I was going. Oh, I don't know if he. Tony Biff, if you're still there, how is your map coming on? I'm sure I heard. I don't know if I misheard it, but I'm sure I heard you submitted a map or something to the in-game mod hub. Oh, my pig food mixer is now completed testing, so that should be coming soon, hopefully. But yes. Oh, right then. Okay. Right, so that's enough of that. I think that's pretty much everything covered for now. I can't remember. When I was going through the seasonal spawners, I also meant to say there's another one at the end of this road here. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but there is one there. Well, let's see. You can stay there for the minute. Actually, yeah. Try and tidy up some of these vehicles, because I think most of the fields are ready to rock and roll. One thing I do need to do is fertilize my grass, alfalfa, and clover fields. That was the reason I got that other tractor down there, the black one, at the beginning of the stream. But yes, fun. So out of interest, what map is everybody currently playing on? And which farm sim year, I suppose is the best way, or version are you playing? But yeah, I'm not doing too bad by there, Mamadou. Hopefully you're okay, my dear. But yeah, this week, so today, Wednesday and Friday, I will be playing on this map. So if anybody does have any questions, or you're having any issues on the map, please get in contact. Either come into chat and pop it in there, or even message me, and I'll see if I can figure it out, or message you if need be. But yeah, obviously the biggest thing is pallet movement as well. That's another thing on this map, is pallet movement. Obviously, further on you get, the more laggy it could get with pallet movements. Now, obviously, on my Trello, once again, I have a little mod there that allows you to place a trigger over Barrow Logistics and set your factories to distribute and have all your products sent straight over to it. Makes life a little bit easier. However, when it comes to selling, obviously, okay, you could go into Barrow. Actually, no, you can't do it from Barrow Logistics, can it, on this one? Because it's a silo. Haha. Yeah. Obviously, when it comes to selling side of things, I would highly recommend going on to the in-game mod hub and getting the Hispano modern containers and editing them. Get rid of those friggin' warnings. Get rid of those errors. And yeah, you'll be fine. Obviously, like I was saying earlier, there is a video on my YouTube that shows how to edit the FS22 versions, so they no longer throw warnings and errors. Plus, they will pick up everything, regardless on what map you're on. So yeah. Obviously, this map does have a couple of additional things that you may need to add in. But overall, it's a fairly easy edit to a couple of XMLs. But once you've done that, you should be good to go. There we go. Oh, I'm not quite right. There we go. Straighten you up a bit better. There we are. Right, you should be in there. I should have another one of these rollers somewhere as well. So I need to keep that at the back there. We'll detach you. So we can get the other one in later on. There we go. But yeah, I think if I remember rightly, I've now got all the crops in for April. I may be wrong, but let me just see what I'm set to. Is it 1 day still? Or did I end up upping it? Settings. Which one are we? Okay, so we're on 3 days, so that's even better. I've got plenty of time to get any additional stuff in. So yeah, I've got 1 more day, so we're only on the 2nd day of April technically. Let's see. Now thinking about it, I do have these homers here. I'm sure one of these had fertilizer in it. That one. Oh, that one. Groovy. There we go. We'll get this filled back up. Actually, that's another thing I'm missing from in 25 is the wildlife sounds. Obviously, in 22 we had the mod that added in critter sounds and such. That is something I've been missing. I've noticed it a little bit more now that I'm back in 22. That'd be kind of a nice mod to bring back if it ever does come back. But yes, there we go. Actually, while I think about it, because I know some people were asking for it, I might as well grab it now that this thing's loading up. So, yeah, what I would recommend really is to download them off of the in-game mod hub first of all. Obviously, look for Hispano modding. Find those containers. Obviously, there's the flat racks, there's containers, standards. The ones that I've used were the Titans, and I'm still using them even now. But if anybody did want them, 1, 2. Okay, so I've got the flat racks and the standard Titan containers. Plus, I've also got a TLX Phoenix that's edited. If anybody did want them, I can post the edited ones. Share that. Copy. But yeah, if you can download the originals first, support Hispano modding or 82 Studios. That is the primary thing I would say. But then go in and replace them with the 3 that are in that folder right there. And I'm going to pop this in YouTube as well, because I'm kind that way. But yeah, if you can try it, at least go over to my YouTube, find the tutorial video. It's also available as a link on my Trello. Thinking about it, there's a little link on my Trello that shows exactly where that video is. Actually, I can show you if you want quickly. Let me come here, we come here, we come here, and there, and everywhere. But yes, here we go. So on my Trello, if you actually scroll all the way to the right here, we have a couple of little videos already set up. So the first thing is, if we go from the top to bottom, if you're into the fishing and the lobster side of things, it's right there. Actually, we'll do that in just a minute as well. We'll show that in here. Regarding the rice and the cranberry bog fields, some people have asked about that. There's a little video on my YouTube that explains on how that all works. Obviously, you do have to drain those bogs to then plant and harvest the crops. There is the mod folder switcher for 22, which is still available on DashNet's Trello. So obviously, I've got my little video right there on how to install it and use it. It's basically the same as it always is. In addition, I did do a hints and tips on getting started on PB Canyon Crossing video. It's actually a whole stream, but obviously, yeah, it's there. It kind of shows you the central farm, starting fields and stuff like that, and maybe some of the productions I'd recommend you using to get started from new farmer mode, I suppose is the best way to put it, and then progressing on from there. Obviously, regarding the hops, Obviously, there is specialized equipment on the in-game mod hub that is needed to be able to do it. Obviously, that shows you what you need and how you harvest them, so it's worthwhile doing. And then finally, at the bottom of this list is a little video on my YouTube that shows you how to edit the Hispano modding containers to accept everything, but also that will also work with 82 Studios trailers that autoload as well. So it's a simple-ish little edit, but maybe give it a try first. If you can't get it to work, then maybe grab the ones that I've already done from the link above. There we go. So with that being said, let's go do some fertilizing. So yeah, this is my whole. I don't know. I don't know how many people have seen this, but let me go into. Oh crap! Still want to do that. I want F12. There we go. I'm too used to hitting F11 now from playing 19 so much. It's terrible. Super strength off, and I want to pop you on just a sec. So yeah, this is obviously my farmyard area for those who may not remember it. So a lot of the fields have been combined or extended and obviously boxed in using some of those spruce trees. Obviously these have all been, I think these were placeable ones that weren't actually grown. I could be wrong. Spacing looks about right, but anyway, yeah, that's it. Obviously this is my whole farmyard area. We do have deers running around, little wild ones. Hello, there's one right there. I can see you. But yeah, obviously we're using Green Thumb Farmers sheds there. And then obviously it's going into my animal area, and I'm kind of trying to keep everything close to where I mainly farm from rather than being here, there and everywhere like some people do. They'll set up animals on one farm, they'll have their main farm on another, they'll do something else on another farm, and it's like, how can you remember what you're doing? It's like, why not just bring it all onto one? It's like crazy. But yeah, as you can tell, I like trees. Trees are great. Trees are your friends. Go out, hug a tree. But yes. But yeah, that's my whole area. Also, I've got the animals there, and then obviously I've got some storage and silos at the back there, and obviously a composter as well. Why the heck not? So yeah, it's kind of a busy farm, but I like how it's all turned out. Obviously, we've got the sheep, we've got goats, we've got chickens, ducks, cows, dogs, deers, cats. Have I missed any animals? I can't remember, but yeah. You'd rather hug a girl? Yeah. I would rather hug a woman, to be honest. Yeah, preferably my wife, but yeah. Anywho, let's get going. I've got a little bit in here, so I'm sure that will do for now. But yes. Actually, that's one of the nice reasons I was kind of going over other things, because I was trying to remember what the heck I was actually doing on this before we went over to 25, and I couldn't think of half of it. So yeah, I know. Well, basically yesterday and this morning, or this afternoon, should say, my time, I have actually gone through. I've weeded a few fields. So that has definitely helped get some of my precision farming scores up. I did notice obviously the grass, alfalfa and clover, 3 fields, did need to get some nitrogen into them, so fertilizer, so that's where we're going to head right now. But yeah, regarding the fishing, like I was kind of just going on from it, obviously along the riverways, you need to find the triggers. I might as well show it now because I'm right here. So along, actually if you watch the video I'll show you exactly where they all are. But what you want to do is find one of these triggers, on that waterway, allow it to rain. Once again, rain. Once it's rained, those triggers, or traps, what you want to call it, are going to fill up with fish. Obviously, in the shop here, under vehicles, under boats, we have the fishing boat right there. Drive up to those triggers and you can load those fish into that boat. Now, something I didn't really mention is obviously unloading the boat. It is covered in the video, but under the PV tools and others, if you scroll to the right, you have all these port pieces. You can actually create your own little port for unloading and doing whatever with the boats. So you could technically set up your own little area, for example the barge for loading unloading, or you could just set up a little area for your fish. Now as you can see here, it keeps coming up with overlaps with another object. What you will need to do is hit the V for victory key, and what that will do is it will free it up to place it, and obviously that will prevent it from landscaping the terrain under the river as well. So you could actually create something similar or even better than what I've got right here. So go through what is here. So in the back here there is this right here. It's a little dock piece with a tank on it. This bit right here, 50,000 capacity, cost 10,000 to put it down. This is what you want to unload your fish into. Obviously on the water side you can see there is that trigger to unload from the boat. Once it's in here, there is in the animal category, if I can get down close enough and show it, that little trailer just right there, it says fish transport on the side, but that's in the pack as well. You can load your fish into there, and then that can then go into a production or wherever it needs to go. Obviously we've got the fish market here, something fishy. You can also take it up to Cargill for cat food if you wanted to, I think it is. The same with the lobster, can go into that as well, or to sell I should say. But yeah, once you've got your fish ready to rock and roll, obviously you get it processed. In the fish market there is fish, I think it's bait or fish fillets, I can never remember. I think it's the fish bait. That can go into this right here, which is basically a lobster cage production. Now if I can never remember if that's in the same here or if, yes, it's right there. So the little lobster port that can be placed down on, it can be put down on the actual land itself, or using the V key you can place it down on one of these ports in the same way I've done mine. Obviously you add in the different products, some from Aurora Textiles, obviously you've got the fish market there, steel factory, so there's a few things you need to get in there to make these lobster cages. With the lobster cages, once they spawn out and you're ready to rock and roll, load them all to a barge, and at either end of the riverways there is unloading areas that are clearly marked. Chuck the cages in to either end, leave it around a month, maybe a couple months, and they will spawn back out full. From there you can use the auto loading barges to pick up those cages of the lobsters that can then go into being sold. Or if you want to make really expensive cat food, there's that. But yeah, you got one right here at the end of here for the lobsters, and then just off the map right here is the second one for your lobsters. But yeah, obviously have a watch of my little video regarding finding these, because it will help out. Because once you find the trigger, what you can do is in that same cat section, so under the PV stuff, under others, you have these little buoys, and what you can actually do is place down on, you could just do one if you wanted to mark it. I've obviously done one in each corner of roughly where the trigger is located, and you can literally just drive through. Once you found them, hit the R key to load the fish in, and then carry on. So you got, just to give you an idea, there's one right there, back there. There's one up here by Alcoa. But yeah, you got multiple ones all the way down this waterway. The final one that I did get is just inside here. Obviously, this is heading in towards where the vehicle shop and dock areas, I suppose, when you first start out. So that is the final one right there. But yeah, yay! It's great fun. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. But yeah, definitely go over and check that fish video on my YouTube. Haven't done anything with the fishing on this map. Thanks for going over it. Yeah, no worries, Hectate. But yes, hey, Mr. KW, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, if I remember rightly, it's FS22 tutorials or something like that folder or playlist. There's a whole lot of things to check out over there. Yes. It's definitely a map that I've missed. I will say that. I think I actually missed this map more than I have PV County, in all honesty. And one of the things that was kind of weird is over the weekend, I was actually thinking I was kind of a little bit bored on PV County the last couple of streams. I don't know how you guys felt about how I was coming across, but I just felt bored being on that map. Maybe it's because I had everything built, and obviously for the primary part of the streams, I was on my second save game, and it's like, do I really want to go through again, building everything again? I really don't want to, type thing. So yeah, I was kind of, very much on the, really didn't want to play it. Wasn't enthusiastic as I was, or thought I'd be, being back on there. But don't get me wrong, PV County is a great map. I honestly love it. If it wasn't for that map, and Mr. Dave, like I said, I definitely would not be back into playing Farming Simulator. I was literally on the cuff of quitting farming in FS19 before I found County and Dave. But yeah, this is kind of like my semi-puppy, I guess. I think that's what it is. Because obviously I put a lot of hours into helping Mr. Dajnet with the factory side of things on here. So this is kind of like a semi-puppy, in the same way PV Rivers, even though it's a Dajnet map, he kind of calls it now a Billy Alpaca map. Because the amount of, obviously, the factories that I've done, and obviously Green Thumb Farmer's done, and Team Miller's done. So it's more of a communal puppy, I suppose, for us. But yeah, this one has definitely got a lot of fond memories, and I can definitely say this is one I have definitely missed a heck of a lot of, and that is a heck of a miss, Team Miller. Oh, I am so disappointed. A 73.02 landing, really? I'm sorry, I'm just winding you up. But yeah, how are you getting on anyway, Mr. T. Miller? Have you gotten out of the hospital yet, or is that later today? But yeah, so if you weren't aware, obviously Mr. T. Miller on Friday was in the hospital for a operation on his hip. I know he's been in multiple streams over the weekend. Obviously hoping to be out today and heading to I was going to say chemotherapy, but that's not the one. What do you call it? Nope, I can't think of what it's called. The other therapy to get you walking again. But yeah, one thing I haven't missed is the frame rates. My frame rates are very low. I always thought they were higher, but maybe not. But to be honest, I really don't care. It's such a great map. But yeah, here we go. So we've got clover, we got alfalfa, and grass. So obviously I need to go to the end of here. These are the 3 additional fields that I physio. That's the one. Yes. I read that and thought, psycho. Really? Psycho? No. physiotherapy. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, these are the 3 additional fields I added over in this area. Obviously, this was originally going to be for the Fort Knox to go in, but I never really got it in game. It was kind of a bit of a nightmare getting some of the doors and everything working, but I do need to do this. Let me just check. Oh yeah, I need to turn on the crop sensor so we get the right usage. But there we go. Hopefully this will give me enough at least to get through. But there we go. I can keep an eye on that for them. Oh, actually I could do this. See that X R dang it. Does this have the fur? One sec. Amazon Trail, that one. Whoa. No, 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 no. Come back. There we go. Oh, I hate when it does that. It's always on the wrong direction. There. Bring that across a fraction. Actually, do home. Easier. Lock that in there. There we go. Still at the hospital, waiting to be transported to the rehab center. Okay. Coolio. So then, was it 2 weeks? I think you said, wasn't it? They're planning on keeping you there to get you up and walking again properly. But yeah, fingers crossed everything goes well. That's all I can say. Oh, did I? No. Ooh, there's an eagle. Did anybody hear that eagle? Oh, yes, I am sure I just heard an eagle squawking. Oh! Oh. And what I think about it is, so I don't know if anybody's been watching Yellowstone. Obviously, I've been doing a kind of a catch-up thing of late, and I never even realised that the creator of Yellowstone and 1882 is actually featured in those series, those TV shows. Hello, can I help you, dear? But yes. One of the rodeo guys that comes in, he is actually the creator. Heck, where is it? I took a picture of it so I could remember it later. So if anybody knows, so the actual person is a guy named Taylor Sheridan, I believe it is. But yeah, in Yellowstone, he plays a character called Travis Wheatley, and he's like a rodeo type horse dude. Yes, he bless him. But yeah, in obviously the 1883, you should say, he played a character called Charlie Goodnight. Now that's obviously one thing I haven't quite got into seeing yet, is the 1883. But yeah, I've definitely been going through the Yellowstone, and I read that and thought, holy heck, dude, it's got quite a thing going there with Yellowstone. Because I am actually very much enjoying watching it. Yes. Just got up to, was it season 5? Yeah, season 5 I think it is. Right now. So yeah, obviously, Dutton has just become governor. So yes, it's gonna be an interesting one, that's for sure. Oh, and his daughter was made his like right hand person. Can't think of what the heck the position is actually called. But yes, it's definitely going to be an interesting watch now. And obviously his little girlfriend's ended up in jail, hasn't she? So, I don't know. There we go. But yes, didn't realise that he was the actual creator of Yellowstone until I read that article the other day. Thought, interesting. But maybe he's done it before with some of the other. I don't know if it's that particular show, but some of his other shows he's done exactly the same, where he's done little cameos here, in there. It's kind of cool. But yes, there we go. Holy heck, is that the time already? Here's me yakking on, and I need to almost get ready to jump off soon. Ah, dang. Yes. Oh, and the furniture turned up. Obviously, last week I ordered some furniture for the bedroom. Obviously, one piece is meant to turn up today, one piece is meant to turn up on Thursday. I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll be able to stagger it out a bit. One turned up on Saturday, the other one turned up this morning, so I'm going to be big and busy over the next couple of days getting that lot sorted out and rearranging our bedroom, so I might be in pain on Wednesday stream. Holy smokes! Another one! Mr. Coffee Man is raiding with a party of 3. Welcome in, Mr. Coffee Man 101. How was your stream over on PV County? Hopefully it was a good day for you, sir. Let me get this sorted out and locked in. And if you guys are not following Mr. Coffee Man 101, make sure to click on the link, give him a follow. And actually, while I think about it, I can close your stream as well, because I was actually lurking in your stream, to be honest, bud. Oh, is this not going to do any more, or is it just around the edge there? So yeah, this week obviously I am going to be on PV Canyon Crossing. Obviously, over the last 2 hours that I've been streaming, I've already gone through, I think, most of the answers that a lot of people were asking about. I think I'm going to be okay with that. Where my precision farming score there is 92. Still showing it needs a little bit of nitrogen, so yeah, I'm probably going to end up having to do the whole field just to get that up to the 100%, just to make sure that it's done. Even if it doesn't spray. Pain in the thing. But it is scanning. I can just see on the map right here, on the mini map there, that it is changing, so that's good. There we go. It was good, glad to hear. I know you actually got a bridge built. Did you get anything else done over there? I was actually lurking during my stream as well, but I wasn't really paying too much attention. Also, Mr. Coffee Man, if you have not gone over to Discord, please do so. I messaged you, kind of curious about something you were asking about yesterday. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, have a little look and let me know. But anywho, actually, while I think about it, I'm going to do, before I jump off, I am going to do a shout out for everybody that I know streams. Obviously, if any of you guys are not following any of them, please make sure to click on their links, give them a follow. So, starting off with Mr. Farming Trucker 74. If you're not following him, make sure to click on the link, give him a follow. Hey, same game, Matt. How you doing, buddy? By the way, I'm going to give one for Mr. Don B here, who may or may not be streaming in the foreseeable future. But if you're not following him, make sure to click on that link, give him a follow. Obviously, we've already got Mr. Coffee Man, so that is good to go. Also go for Mr. The Vink 1972. Obviously, if you're not following him, give him a follow, guys. Support him. He is a good content creator. We had obviously a raid earlier on by Mr. Tony Myth. Obviously, he is a Giants partner and hopefully a published modder. You never know. Soon. Right then, so carrying on from there, we have Mr. Green Thumb Farmer. We have Mamadou. We have T. Miller. And finally Mr. Farmer Marks. So there's probably others in there, but I can't remember who streams and who doesn't. But if you're not following any of those guys, make sure to click on the links, give them a follow. But I am going to do one additional shout out, and obviously that is to the map creator of which I am on, because he doesn't get enough shout outs and I'm terrible at doing this. Obviously, if you're not following Mr. Dashnet over on Twitch, make sure to click on his link, give him a follow. Obviously, currently he is taking some time out of playing Farm Sim. There's a potential he could be coming back, just doing some farming, not sure what version yet. But he has been doing things like 7 Days to Die, Fishing Planet, and other games. But yeah, make sure to check him out, support him, because we all love him, and we want him to come back to Farm Sim soon. Only because we need a new map soon. And I'm too scared to do it right now. But yes. But yeah, if you're not following Dashnet, you definitely should be, and support him, because obviously his maps are, in my opinion, what has made Giants pull their fingers out of their booties and improve the base game itself. But yes, with that being said, I'm going to finish off this field, and yes, even though it's not actually technically doing anything, it is changing. I can see that it's changing the actual field in the mini map. I'm not sure how much of the third level is being sorted out, but we'll see. But yes, there we go. Let me get over to the ending screen. And oh yes, oh, you don't want to follow that person, that Billy Alpaca. No, he's a bit of a moron, a know-it-all. But yeah, much appreciate all you guys anyway. So let's get over to the ending screen. And say one final thing is big huge thanks to Tony Myth and Coffee Man 101 for the raids, much appreciated. Also a big huge thank you to all the moderators out there, whether you've been lurking or chatting away, it has been much appreciated. And obviously a big huge hug and a thank you to you guys. Obviously I will be back on Canyon Crossing on Wednesday stream, so if there is anything I've missed today, please do so, message me over either tomorrow or first thing Wednesday, or hold it for the stream and I can cover any answers then. Obviously same time as usual, but until then guys, so for you guys over on YouTube, thank you very much as well for tuning in, much appreciated. You've been a bit quiet today, but it's much appreciated. But for now, I'm going to call it there for Mr. YouTube, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.